Packers can't lose 2 home games to start the year, can they? Drew Brees says maybe you can. To Marcus Colston's 7th-round pick from
Hosta.
Last week he caught a TD. Here he goes again. 27-20 the Saints. Amon Green hits a fumble. Charles Grant, as in Grant's tomb, does it again. He strips the ball, and the Saints are in business. So instead, with 8 minutes to go, instead of the Packers driving, Ace and Deuce McAllister, 23 yards, 34-20 the Saints. 4.5 to go. Can Brett Favre will a victory? To Noah Herron, touchdown, 34-27. Packed just before the 2-minute warning, have a chance. They got the ball, but it's 4th and 10. Favre, just wide, and the New Orleans Saints have won 2 road games. Only they and Buffalo have yet to play at home, and the New Orleans Saints beat Green Bay at Lambeau 34-27. Drew Brees, 26 of 41 for 353. He and Favre combined for about 700 yards passing. But this, the coming out party for Drew Brees, injured at the end of last year, no longer Charger. He's a Saint with Rachel Nichols.
Some quarterbacks have trouble coming back from a bad turnover, or 2, or 3. But Drew Brees was calm even after coughing up 2 fumbles and an interception in a 9-minute span, marching the Saints right back down the field.
Well, I mean, I'm a believer, you know, and I always will keep the faith, you know, that, you know, things are gonna turn around, things are gonna get better.
You know, a veteran like that, you don't have to come up to him and explain to him that, hey, you know, it's okay, you know, it's gonna be all right, you know, don't be hard on yourself, you know.
But he's very competitive. It's all those things we looked for when we signed him. You know, that person that that's proven over the course of his career that he's been on the winning side more than he's been on the losing side.
Brees may be a newcomer to New Orleans, but he says he knows what it means to the city to have the Saints 2-0 heading into next week's Monday Night Football game, the Saints' first trip back to the Superdome since Hurricane Katrina. Back in training camp, he ran into a man who had painted his prosthetic leg Saints colors. Brees said, "That told me people are depending on us a lot now." In Green Bay, I'm Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
Thank you very much, Rachel. And on the Saints alone, that Monday night game, which we'll be thrilled to cover on ESPN Monday Night Football against the Saints and Falcons are 2-0, and all the excitement in the area. So, look, last year, the Falcons were at 500. The Saints, with everything they went through, were far off. And Carolina and Tampa Bay went to the playoffs. This time, Carolina and Tampa Bay are 0-2. Atlanta and the Saints are 2-0. What? Did I miss something?
I think when you look at the Saints, a lot of contributions from a lot of different places. You know, Brees, the poise to have the kind of early game that he had today with all the mistakes that he made, and then to come back and be poised enough to actually win the football game. Deuce McAllister running awfully well. But, you know, the quarterback threw for 170 the first week, 300+ this week. Reggie Bush, a little bit of a contribution in the passing game, in the return game, doing a little bit of running of the football. But they are showing poise under Coach Payton that we have not seen. And then the Atlanta Falcons, when you run the ball, boom, you said it. When you run the ball for 300 yards, 252 in the first game, you're going to win all of those contests. I would put our jobs on the line.
Yes.
You're going to win all of those contests.
On the other side, Tampa Bay, I know Chris Sims struggled. Cadillac Williams, nowhere.
Nowhere.
Right now, I know they're injured on the line, but, I mean, unless they have some semblance of a running game, I don't care what that Tampa defense, which this time Atlanta looked like they out-quickened. And that was not the case in the past with these teams. In Carolina's case, they've been 1-7 before and gotten back into things, but the Steve Smith will hang over their head a little bit. But Tampa is the one most scratching its head.
And quick note on Atlanta, folks, watch where Warwick Dunn is running the football. It's amazing. He's a little man. He's running in between the tackles. And he can't be more than 180 pounds soaking wet.
The Saints marching in, and Atlanta. They're the 2-0 teams in the NFC South. The Blitz continues later in SportsCenter.
Romer and Tees.
The Blitz continues in the AFC East. The teacher, Bill Belichick. The pupil, Eric Mangini, Patriots at Jets. Tom Brady to the second-round pick, hanging Chad Jackson.
My third cousin.
At 29 yards, Tom, first down, and then from the 1, Corey Dillon. Touchdown, 7-0 the Patriots at the Meadowlands. Under a minute to go in the half. Tom Brady, Dr. Watson, I presume. Ben Watson, 23 yards in the first down. Tick, 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 tick. And now the score 10-0. And Brady to Chad Jackson. And a touchdown. And so in the first half, all New England, as you thought it might be, the Patriots lead 17-0. With the score 24-0 in the third quarter. Watch this play. Chad Pennington, Jericho Cotchery. He's not down, folks, and he knows it. Give him credit, he's up. He knows it. Rodney Harrison knows it. He can't catch it. How did this go as a 71-yard touchdown, Tom?
Well, you take another look at it. Just watch Cotchery. The wherewithal to keep this knee up off the ground, I feel like it would have been so easy to just fall down. He gets up, he gets to the end zone. Great play of the season thus far.
More athletics from the Jets. Why does Lavernius goes whoop, and then whoop, and then he's not done. Look at him down the side, whoop! One more turn, and then is he caught? Whoop! Touchdown! A 4-whoop play, 46 yards, and the Jets trail 24-14. Here comes Kerry Rhodes from
Louisville.
Sacks Tom Brady. It's a fumble. Brian Thomas on it. Leads to an actual Mike Nugent cat scratch fever field goal. Stephen Gostkowski tries to put it away, but Jonathan Vilma blocks the field goal, and the Jets are still in it. Eric Mangini's squad has fought back to 24-17 and still alive. With seconds to go, Pennington's led him to midfield, but that'll be it. Ball tip, Teddy Bruschi. Johnny on the spot. Bill Belichick. Patriots beat Eric Mangini and the Jets 24-17. So again, economical Brady with 220 yards passing. The Patriots with the big lead. Win on the road, 24-17. Pennington for 300 yards, thanks to those athletic plays. Buffalo at Miami. Now, Miami had a week and a half off after the opening day loss to Pittsburgh. Dante Culpepper, his home opener with the Dolphins. How did he? Oh, boy. That's how he did. Buffalo's defense, and Culpepper struggled, but I think it was a lot Buffalo defense. 7 sacks, 3 by Ryan Denny right there. Forces Culpepper to fumble. He's fortunate. His own tackle, Vernon Carey, fell on the ball. Second quarter, 3-0 Bills. Culpepper feels pressure and intercepted by Angelo Crowell. Moved to a different spot, moved to the strong backer for Takeo Spikes, who is injured, and Buffalo's defense impressive.
Yeah, and you take a look at that throw, it just looks like there's no way it could ever get to the receiver through the 2 Buffalo Bills.
Willis McGahee ran hard in the first half, but the Bills just had 3-0 with the lead until third quarter. J.P. Lossman, Lee Evans, Will Allen, here come the flags, and so the Bills are in business deep. First and goal from the 4, J.P. Lossman fakes the handoff to McGahee, then to Josh Reed. Touchdown, Buffalo. Circling a wagon, 10-0 Bills. Culpepper tries to get in it after the 2-minute warning. A circus catch by Chris Chambers. So 16-0 becomes 16-6 somehow.
Yeah, great job of Chambers bringing that ball off the ground. No question he made the catch.
And the Bills starting 2 rookie safeties, Tom. One of them, Dante Whitner. Their first-round draft pick breaks up the 2-point conversion. It's over. The fans going to the Buffalo Bills. We told you 7 sacks. The Bills go into Miami, a team favored to go a lot of places, and they beat them by the count of 16-6. McGahee running for 91 yards. So let's start with New England, and once again, it looks like last year. Hello, New England, they're off.
Well, they talk about the contenders, but they are right now better than 2-0. They've won 2 division games. They're only going to play 4 more. So I think the real test for this football team will be once they get to the postseason.
A shout out to Dick Duran, who, by the way, as coach in the division for Chicago and then defensive coordinator Detroit, used to defending Dante Culpepper.
Yes.
They were very organized. The Bills almost won at New England. They won at Miami, and they open at home next week against the Jets. Improved.
Yes.
Improved. But the Patriots are the team of the division. That is 2-0. The Blitz moves on.
The Blitz is brought to you by Nike.
How about the pick? Back here on SportsCenter, the Dallas Cowboys avoid an 0-2 start with a 27-10 win over the Redskins. The numbers for Terrell Owens, 3 catches, 19 yards, 1 broken bone in his hand. How long will Terrell Owens be out of action? He addressed that situation after the Cowboys victory.
It's broken. So right now, just talked with the docs, and we're gonna probably do surgery within the next day or so. And you know, I'm gonna try to get back as fast as I can. I'm not sure, you know. So I mean, it could be anywhere from maybe 2 to 4 weeks. I feel like I'm a quick healer, so you know, it starts tomorrow. So once we have the surgery or whatnot, you know, it's the healing process. It starts.
So after the surgery, you figure you'll have a better idea of exactly how long Owens will be out. But you see the situation coming up for the Cowboys. They have a bye, then they take on a Titan team that is struggling. Obviously, that Week 5 trip to the Eagles would be a complete circus if he is playing. But Sean Salisbury, what's the impact of the Owens absence in this Cowboy lineup?
Well, Scott, anytime you lose a guy like Terrell Owens from 2 to 4 weeks or longer, it has an effect on your football team because he's such a great player. But the Cowboys have found a way on Sunday night for Terry Glenn to rear his head and play good football, and everybody else around him, including a defense that smothered the Washington Redskins. But remember now, the Dallas Cowboys have a bye, and then they play the Tennessee Titans. But after that, it's Philadelphia. So if you can get Owens back for that Eagle game, that's exactly when they need him back. Until then, you don't play him until he's close to 100%. You need him down the stretch. You don't need him now. Owens out 2 to 4 weeks. I have a hunch he's back by Philadelphia.
Everybody, Tom, let's take a look at 2 of the 3 teams that pitched shutouts on opening week, and that would be the Ravens and the Bears. I'm going to start with the Baltimore Ravens, and an interesting matchup, if you will, because the defensive coordinators of the Raiders and the Ravens, that's Rob on the left, Rex on the right. They're both Ryans, both twin sons of Buddy Ryan. Meanwhile, the game, Aaron Brooks fumbles a snap. He fumbled twice. Art Shell has seen enough. Plus, Aaron Brooks sprained right shoulder. He's gone. Andrew Walter in at quarterback. No question now who's quarterback for the Ravens. After all these years, they know who's playing. It's Steve McNair, Derek Mason. Those two together had some magic at Tennessee. They're going to do it again in Baltimore. The Storm and Mormon. Todd Heap catches this one from McNair. 16-3 Baltimore.
Second week in a row, Baltimore Ravens lead at the beginning of the game.
And what could happen with the defense now with Ray Lewis and company? Nice pick. And he gets up, picks off Andrew Walter, and then look. Why don't you block for me, Ed? And guys, Lewis with a 27-yard return. So later in the third, the Raiders backed up at their own 4-yard line. What could happen? Adalius Thomas is in on a sack, a flag, a ball, a safety. What didn't happen? 18-3, Tom.
The Ravens defense is used to playing without a lot of points. Now they have points.
And now Terrell Suggs makes the ball come loose. And look at the big tackle, Kelly Gregg, rumbling, mumbling, stumbling. And then from behind, let me take that ball, said Ray. Ray Lewis, I got it. We can take it a little farther. Not a blocking. They're having fun, Tom.
And you watch Craig. Watch Ray. It's reminiscent of an Olympic pass-off of the baton. You never look back. He's got the ball, and he's gone.
And then, even when it passes in the neighborhood, Albus Whitted, this is what he's... Oh, nailed by Dewan Large. We might see that Monday night with you, Tom.
Yeah, he was all right. He got up, and he was fine. You might see it on Jacked Up.
And so the Ravens finally allow some points. Art Shell knows that his team, the Raiders, have now been outscored 55-6. Baltimore, 2-0. The only other time in their brief history they were 2-0 was 2000. They won the Super Bowl. 6 turnovers, a safety, 2 field goals, give up 162 yards. Baltimore wins it 28-6. On to the Chicago Bears for their home opener against the Detroit Lions. Roy Williams guaranteed a victory.
Why?
Tank Johnson, look out, John Kitna. Brian Urlacher recovers a fumble. Bears at the 3. It's like last year, right? When they drive once a game into the end zone, but they would do this, they would drive many more times than once into the end zone. Rex Grossman to John Gilmore. Wide open touchdown, 7-0 Chicago. With the score 10-0 second quarter, Grossman play action, and watch Bernard Berrien, the speedster, and obviously an acrobat as well, Tom.
Yeah, you take a look at this catch. He does a great job of getting his hands up under the ball, and Rex Grossman pretty happy.
Should be 17-0 Dub Bears. Desmond Clark, the tight end they're talking about in Chicago. And look at this catch he makes in front of a couple Lions. 31-yard touchdown. 34-7. Chicago wins. Okay, they allow 7 points after a shutout last week. Rex Grossman, 20 of 27, 289, no picks, 4 touchdowns. Desmond Clark caught 5, Berrien caught 5. Wow. So this is a little bit different as the Bears are 2-0. They're going to play the Vikings next week in Minnesota, who are 2-0, so that should be a lot of fun. Look, Rex Grossman isn't necessarily Joe Montana yet, but this is a completely different feel, plus a tight end for a young quarterback to get the feel in Clark playing a big role.
A go-to guy who allows you to move the chains and allows you that outlet when you're under pressure. You need that either out of the running back or the tight end position. But when you look at the Bears, they've got a quarterback who I think Rex Grossman throws a pretty good ball. He's got an outstanding receiver in Muhammad, and they've got an outstanding defense that won't make him pay for every mistake that he makes. This team could be around at the end, and as you look at these teams throughout the league, 2-0, you're in great shape. 0-2, it is unlikely that you are going to the Super Bowl. I don't care what's happened in the past. It's unlikely. And at 1-1, you're still in the game.
Well, you like to point out what's happened in the past. The teams have won the Super Bowl or 0-2, but they got what?
They got back Emmitt Smith or they got Tom Brady back. Something happened to get them there.
Meanwhile, it is fitting that in a section with the Ravens and the Chicago Bears that we remind you that you are watching the Blitz.
Back to the dime in Philadelphia.
Ultimate Highlight. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
Diving and making the catch.
Press people more.
What a play by the Wizard of OC! He got it! You gotta be kidding me!
Ran through with the front of the plate. Got him!
Press people more. Nobody can confuse me with some. That must be up 22 in a miss.
Oregon has beaten Oklahoma.
See what does this when it don't work on the style is the boundy, dang, diggy, diggy.
Number 40 for Soriano.
My style is the boundy, dang, diggy, diggy. A room boy don't play with the boundy, dang, diggy, diggy. My style is the boundy, dang, diggy, diggy.
The Ultimate Highlight. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
Still ahead. Number 1 Ohio State beats Cincinnati in the Battle of Ohio Saturday. The Bengals look to win the NFL version for the 4th straight time. Carson Palmer, 352, his second most passing yards. He finds Kelly Washington for 22 of them here and a touchdown. Said Washington or Palmer, we go. How far Carson takes us. Nice little dance. More of that to come from his teammate Chad Johnson. Palmer and Chad hooking up 3rd and 5 from in tight. So close, so tough to operate in close space. Then Johnson does a little chicken dance. We flash back to Saturday when Johnson participated in the world's largest chicken dance in the Oktoberfest celebration in Cincinnati. The Bengals' other Johnson, by the way, Rudy Johnson, War Eagle, he ran for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here Chad Johnson gets just blasted by Brian Russell and Lee Bodden. One more look and listen. Johnson bleeding all over jersey, had to get stitched up. Palmer said of Johnson after the game, he's a little loopy, he's out of it.
Tough to decide how good the Chargers are, given how bad the Raiders were on Monday night. If you figured visiting Tennessee would give San Diego more of a test, you figured wrong. First quarter, Phillip Rivers, Eric Parker. Rivers 25-35, 235 yards. Drive would end in a LaDainian Tomlinson touchdown, 10-0. Second quarter, Tomlinson bounces outside, stiff arms Ronaldo Hill. Preservations for 6. It was 20-0 at the half. Tomlinson 71 rushing, 51 receiving. Chargers become the first team since John Madden's 77 Raiders to hold their opponents scoreless for 7 periods of the season. I say 7 because Vince Young gets his first 7 and finds Drew Bennett 40-7 your final.
Back to the bases, Mets trying to clinch the East for the third straight day. Pirates, though, are over 500 since the break, playing better baseball. Freddie Sanchez facing John Maine, grounded to David Wright. He throws it away. Pirates lead 1-0. Mets had a couple of errors in this ball game. Zach Duke said, we took it personally that they had their party planned this time. Kelly Stinnett swinging there, one away later in the inning, top of the seventh. The Mets threatening looking. Duke 8 innings, 8 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. They're the first National League team to sweep the Mets this year.
Banana situation at Alltel Stadium here in Jacksonville last week. The hometown crowd actually booed Byron Leftwich and the Jacksonville Jaguars when their offense struggled early in the game. Never mind, Byron came back and ran for a touchdown and threw for a touchdown in the opening week win. A lot of people are wondering who should really be the starting quarterback for this team. With Leftwich out at the end of last season, backup David Garrard came in and finished the regular season 4-1, prompting a lot of people to wonder, is the right guy in there? Just one of the topics of the Sunday Conversation with Susie Culver.
Seems like every year since you've been drafted, it always comes up about Byron's mobility. And what are your thoughts when you hear that?
You know, it's something that I feel as though that's going to always come up, you know, but I know when I seen guys like Bernie Kosar, you know, Dan Marino, I got hope. But I move better than people think, you know. It's hard for me to get out of first. But once I get out of first, I'm like a freight train, like an 18-wheeler. Once I get out of first, my third and fourth gears, boy, I'm moving.
What's the most challenging thing about facing the Steelers' defense?
It's not one thing. They got a bunch of smart football players. They got a lot of smart football players, and they're a very physical football team. And those guys play with a confidence, man. You know, a confidence and a swagger. And when you're that good and you know you're that good, that allows you to play with a confidence and a swagger. So it's going to be a challenge for us that we accept. You know, I mean, as a player, you always want to play against the best. And we get the opportunity to play against the Super Bowl champs. So it's going to be fun for us, too. You know, we got two teams that are similar, very physical. So it should be an exciting football game.
Susie, thanks a lot. It has been home sweet home for Byron Leftwich here in Jacksonville. He's 13-6 as a starter here at home with a touchdown to interception ratio of 2-1. But on the road with SpectraVision, not so much. 9-11.
Sunday Conversation, brought to you by Subaru. Safety of all-wheel drive, standard. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Great Northwest, Seattle hosting Arizona in 2 games against the Cardinals last season. Sean Alexander ran for 313 yards, 6 touchdowns. Here's his first touchdown of the season, 26 carries, 89 yards. Seahawks' second possession. Matt Hasselbeck finds Darrell Jackson, 49 yards. Jackson, 5 catches, 127. 14-0 Hawks, fourth quarter, 21-10. Hasselbeck said there's things on the game film he won't enjoy watching. Well, that's kind of funny, actually, running out onto the field without your lid on and putting on your helmet instead. But this is something he won't like watching. Intercepted by Adrian Wilson. Hasselbeck, 12-27, 221 yards. First game under 50% passing in 2 seasons. Cardinals take advantage. Kurt Warner finds Adam Bergam, and then Ellie Herndon forces the fumble. Local Cooper recovers. The Seahawks win it 21-10.
2 of the 49ers' 4 wins last year came at the expense of the Rams. Alex Smith and Antonio Bryant trying to get their wires straight. 49ers are up 10-3. Smith looking for Bryant, and he's not even close. And Bryant's going nuts. And Trent Dilfer says, calm down. Calm down. Pass. What? Can't show up your quarterback like that. Trent says, settle down. We'll get it all worked out. Third quarter, it's a 10-10 game. And in the huddle, Bryant told the O-line, meet me in the end zone. And that is exactly where Bryant is headed on a perfect pass this time from Smith. They run off the field together. They celebrate. Smith goes for 233. Incidentally, Frank Gore from the U ran for 127. The Niners win.
Up next, the very best from Week 2 in the NFL, including more than a few game-winning plays, not to mention several must-see games.
Oh, it's a fake field goal. Bowie crosses it to Longwell, who dumps it to Owens, inside the 10. Touchdown! What a great play!
66% of the teams that have started the season 2-0 have made the playoffs. This is from 1990 to 2005. 13% have reached the playoffs after starting 0-2. Last 0-2 team to make the playoffs was the 2003 Eagles. Put that in your pipe and smoke it now. Pump up the NFL volume.
Say what?
Rex to the pocket, winds up, going deep for Berrien. Over the shoulder, diving grab, end zone, touchdown. Oh my goodness. What a catch, what a throw, 41 yards. Oh, it's a fake field goal. Moreeeee crosses it to Longwell, who dumps it to Owens, inside the 10, touchdown! What a great play!
Steps up, boy, he's got time, throws downfield, he's got his man, Bryant's got it and he's gone! 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, 49ers!
Pennington drops back, under pressure again, hit as he throws wide right, caught by Jericho Cotchery. First down, was he knocked down? He jumps up, runs the right side of the 15, to the 10, 5, touchdown!
Well, Cartwright takes it at his goal line. 15, 20, 25, 30, open field, breaks the tackle, to the 50, can Rock go all the way, to the 35, 30, dig into the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Rock Cartwright, 100 yards on the kickoff return.
Drops back, no blitz, has time, over the middle, Burris has it, runs out of a tackle, lowers his shoulder, then fumbles it. The ball is loose and the Eagles recovered, it's still loose in the end zone, and Tim Carter falls on it for a touchdown. 3rd and 11, drops back, blitz on, heaves it left for Plaxico Burris, who makes the catch for a touchdown! Burris just beat Sheldon Brown for a touchdown, and the Giants have won in overtime, and they come on the field in Mob Manning!
Straight ahead, why Monday Night Football on ESPN could turn out to be a repeat performance by the home team. A little Monday Night Insight coming your way.
What to watch for Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, ESPN's Monday Night Football. Jaguars won last year's meeting, but Ben Roethlisberger did not play. Will he be playing Monday? We will be watching. And with that, we say thanks for watching us. Our job is done. I'm Neil Everett.
I'm Scott Van Pelt. All the day in the NFL, the surprises that are 2-0, the surprises that are 0-2 right now.
But I hope you didn't have it. Hello and welcome to SportsCenter alongside John Anderson. I'm Steve Levy.
Yes, congrats to the Mets, too, by the way, for outscoring the Steelers by 4. First time in 25 years a defending Super Bowl champ has been shut out. Stuart Scott in Jacksonville and going to bring us the stadium spice to SportsCenter. Stuart?
Jacksonville, Florida, they call it Duval County. Talk about fans who love their players and players who love their fans. Donovan Darius, post-game, giving up his gloves, giving up some love to the fans who helped lead the Jaguars to win over the Steelers. And you got to understand something. When Pittsburgh rolls to an away game, they roll. 20,000 or so Pittsburgh Steelers fans came here to Jacksonville to check out this game. Stuart Scott, Steve Young, Michael Irvin, Tom Jackson. Steelers hadn't lost a game since December 4th of last year, 9 months. Nice winning streak, and it all went...
It wasn't hard to figure that one out.
All went south. Let's check out how the game went down and how they throw it down here in Jayville early in the game. Ben Roethlisberger making his first start of the season. He missed week 1 due to an emergency appendectomy. First quarter, Big Ben back to pass under pressure, throws complete to Willie Parker. Willie had 115 yards rushing last week. Steve, how did Ben take the hits, though?
You know what? You could tell that Ben didn't want to get hit. And in many ways, you could see that he was rusty, like you'd expect, and he didn't really want to take the hit to the body. He kept turning away from it, and who could blame him? But it's obviously going to get better each week.
Later in the first, Steelers, Roethlisberger looking deep for Hines Ward, just out of his reach. Hines had a touchdown catch last week, not here this week. 2 plays later, Michael, why did Ben seem off, do you think?
But, you know, it's all about the timing. And not only with Ben, now Hines Ward on that deep route we saw earlier, it seems like he just did not trust that hamstring all the way, and he couldn't hit that 5th gear.
Meanwhile, Byron Leftwich to the end zone. 4 seconds after the half, Matt Jones, 6'6", played college basketball, couldn't come down with it. No score at the half. Just the 6th scoreless first half in Monday Night Football history. 3rd quarter, first Steelers possession. Roethlisberger sacked by a loss. TJ, how did this happen?
Well, I think that the thing that was very surprising is that the Jaguars were able in the second half at least to dominate both sides of the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively. Get after the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, and protect their quarterback, run the ball, and not allow the Pittsburgh Steelers to run the ball.
Matt Jones made play after play down the stretch. He's a big guy on those small corners for Pittsburgh.
And then the big play for the Jags. Leftwich to Reggie Williams. Looked like a short game. Reggie turned it on 48 yards. That lead to another field goal. 6-0 Jaguars. And then Ben Roethlisberger completes one to the wrong dude. Remember when Rasheed Mathis picked one off in overtime last year to beat the Steelers? Rasheed and his locks going downfield. And from the Department of Redundancy Department to seal the game, TJ, how do you throw the pass with Rasheed Mathis sitting back there?
Well, you know, you start getting desperate now because you played about 55 minutes worth of football and you haven't been able to move it. You start trying to force a few things, which I think Roethlisberger did toward the end of the game, but you get in a situation where you're desperate.
Jacksonville added another field goal. Final score, 9-0. The Steelers, just the third defending Super Bowl champ to get shut out the next season. This is the lowest scoring game in Monday Night Football history. 561 games, lowest scoring. And I told you about the Steelers being the third defending Super Bowl champ to get shut out the next season. The Steelers also did it in 1980. But check this out. The 1981 Raiders, they were shut out 3 straight games. Ben Roethlisberger coming back from that emergency appendectomy. This is his 32nd pro start. He's 27-5, not a bad record, but he lost this one tonight. Steve, he seemed off. What do you think his problem was?
I think both teams came in knowing that, hey, that we're going to try to protect Ben. He's going to be rusty. Byron, I thought, was pretty rusty himself. It didn't look like he was really moving on the offensive side of the ball as well. So at the end of the day, I think that it became Ben Roethlisberger's game to win, and they just couldn't come up with a play. They kept trying. They said, physically, they got beat down today. There's no question about it. From his perspective, all the way through the offensive line, the defensive line, like Tommy mentioned. You could tell, watch him move around. He wasn't spry. He wasn't really looking to take the hit. He wanted to get out of the way. And like I said, coming off of surgery, how could you blame him?
Ben was 17 of 32, 141 yards. On the other side of it, Byron Leftwich threw the ball 39 times. You don't expect that from a Jags team. He was 26 of 39, 260 yards. Passer rating 74 to 38. Michael, when you watch Ben play, what's the first thing that came to your mind when you watched him trying to dodge the hits?
Well, first thing came to my mind is that you do need training camp. You need all of training camp and how important it is, and especially for quarterbacks and watching him and Hines Ward not be exactly like I'm used to watching them connect and be on the same page, that they needed. And I'm going to tell you something. When I watch Ben roll out, it looked like his legs were a little tight because he's usually right on rolling out and making passes, and he missed a few of those passes also.
Let me just say as well, did the running game help Ben? We talked about, hey, we're going to protect Ben. The defense did their job. They held that score down. But did that running game come through for him? No, it did not. It put Ben in a tough spot.
We also talked about that's exactly what Jacksonville wanted to do. Jacksonville wanted to take away that running game and make a Ben Roethlisberger, who hasn't played much, beat them.
You know, I think what you have to remember is this. When we start adding up, because we always want to think with our hearts and not our heads. When you start thinking about the offseason, when you start thinking about the preseason, the appendectomy, the accident, all of those things that he's really gone through. You know, he cringed a little bit on that last hit. You saw him wince when he got hit. I don't know if he's 100%. I don't know if he's really ready to go out there and play. And now add another game, another bad game to that list. He has not played a really solid football game since the championship game against the Denver Broncos.
On Sunday night, last night, Bill Cowher was saying whether or not Ben would start would really depend on how Ben felt mentally and physically. Just moments ago, Cowher talking about his quarterback and the 9-0 loss.
Well, he wasn't feeling well. I mean, he came down a little bit yesterday than today. I know he was developed a little bit of a fever, but you know, I talked to him before the game, and he was okay, ready to go. So I really don't think that, you know, a lot of times guys play with being sick. I mean, that was just a situation that he was down there, looked at him during the game. Like I said, I thought he started the game, threw the ball really well, and I think if we catch a few of those passes, we get into some rhythm. So But we didn't, and consequently, you know, we lost some, like I said, some of the field position game, and you know, the longer the game went on, the more they got it cranked up.
Bill, any explanation why the running game couldn't get on track?
I don't have any right now, no.
So you did a pretty good job.
I might give Steve credit. I said they are the two biggest human beings.
Hey, the 3 lowest scoring games in Monday Night Football history. This is the #1. Jags 9, Steelers nothing. 1990, Niners beat the Giants.
I tell you, it was as physical then as it was tonight. It was a brawl tonight, and you could see it from the first play on. The Jags said basically, hey, Pittsburgh, you come in here strutting, we know you're world champs. We're going to punch you in the mouth right now. And Mike and I went down the sidelines. We saw that.
Well, basically, I'm sitting here with guys who don't know how to play offense because, Steve, you were there in that Niners game. Tommy, in 1980, you were there when the Raiders beat you all 9-3. What was that like?
Well, it's the same kind of game. We lack really solid offense. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have a solid offense. But Stroud and Henderson, I think the people at home, you don't realize how really big they are unless you are on top of them. So they shut down the run game. They made the Steelers one-dimensional. They went through a period about midway through the third quarter, halfway through the fourth quarter, where they abandoned the run. And when you see the Steelers abandon the run, you know that they're in trouble.
And you know, those guys up front, but on many levels in that defense where they were physical.
Linebackers, everybody.
Donovan Darius is out of his head when he was bringing up those hits, man. I'm talking about if I was playing receiver, I would have been peeking out the side of my helmet because Donovan Darius was bringing hits.
I'm telling you, if you ever get a chance to go to the mall and get a signature from Stroud or Mr. Henderson, go check these guys out. They are 6'7", 380. I mean, they're the biggest human beings I've ever seen in my life.
Here's the deal. Combined, they're listed as a combined 640 pounds.
But that's not true.
That's a
Two
lie.
brothers about a biscuit. They're about a biscuit shy of 700 pounds.
820 total, 820. I'm telling, and they came all the way. Darius, he was playing. They played some great defense today. You know, it's very physical. It's very boring for an offensive guy. But Tommy,
I love that game. I love that game.
And here's the thing about Jacksonville. We saw a scoreless first half, right? Last year, the only scoreless first half in the NFL was the Jacksonville Jaguars game against Indianapolis. Why are these guys so heck-bent on knocking the snot out of you?
Well, I think that they are just like their coach.
Yep.
Certainly, when you look at Jack Del Rio and the way he played linebacker, this is the way he wants his football team to play. And it's built from the front back. It's a very physical ball club. They pride themselves in doing that. And I think they also pride themselves. That's not just the defense. That's the offense as well. You know, they came out in that third quarter and they started running Fred Taylor. They started taking charge of the offensive line. And it felt like physically, they actually, God knows, we never thought we'd say this, they beat down the Pittsburgh Steelers physically.
You all right, man? You losing your voice out here.
So, Steve, as an offensive guy watching such a defensive game, I know you don't like it, but you have to appreciate it a little bit only because you're not out there.
I know, I very much do appreciate great defense, but here's the thing. If you're going to play football that way, to me, the offense, they're going to shut you down. They're not going to run the ball on this team very often. I mean, the Jaguars are going to shut down your running game, and so they're going to force you to throw the football. And so if you can score 3 touchdowns a game, the Jacksonville Jaguars can go deep into January. What I'm worried about, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but here we go. Here's a team that can go 12-4, shut people down all day after day after day all fall, and get into January and score 9 points themselves and get beat. So until that offense starts to pick it up and say, look, what defense, we're going to the Super Bowl. But if this offense doesn't do it, and I just thought that they were lethargic on offense. They finally made a couple of plays, but they had many opportunities to do something and didn't.
But Pitt must understand, this effort you saw tonight, you will see every time you walk in any one stadium because you are the world champs. And they wanted to gain respect. And how do you get respect? Well, you hit the bully right in the mouth. And that's exactly what the Jacksonville Jaguars did. They hit the bully in the mouth tonight.
TJ, you mentioned that the Jags play like their coach, Jack Del Rio.
Yes.
I'm not sure, but I think I saw Del Rio taking off some of that eye black with the 904 area code stenciled up under his eye. After the game, Coach Del Rio talked about his team's effort.
Very proud of the guys for fighting a very good football team. We have a lot of respect for the organization, a lot of respect for that football team, the coaching staff, and the players that we just played against. But I am proud of our guys to give forth that kind of effort, great energy, great focus, great determination for 60 minutes. There were some great individual things. You guys can ask the questions. We'll go into all that. But as a team, I'm very proud of the effort we just put forth. Obviously, getting win number 2 was first and foremost, the important thing. But I think clearly, facing, defending world champs, that was a great showing. I'm very proud of the guys. We've got a short work week, okay? So I'm hoping we can keep this kind of brief. Instead of a 24-hour rule, we've got a 2 to 4 hour rule. Because, we'll be back in here tomorrow doing a Monday-Tuesday combo, getting ready for Indy. So we got a big game coming up, and need to get out of here and get to work. So, questions?
Better defensive effort ever.
15 days removed from that emergency appendectomy, you had a high fever most of the day. How did you feel physically on the field?
Not too bad. Out there, things didn't go our way all the time, and I take a lot of that credit on myself. I wasn't out there playing very well tonight, and not only did I let our offense down, but I let our defense down as well.
Did it feel more mental than physical for you?
No, I felt okay out there. I felt that I saw everything all right. I just made some mistakes, and wasn't as crisp as I'd like to be.
Where were the offensive breakdowns? What's going through your mind, in other words, when you're seeing the offense stymied time and again?
Well, it's just a play here and there, and that's, like I said, I take that on my shoulders. I didn't make plays when we had to make them, and that's what a quarterback's supposed to do. They're supposed to make plays when it needs to be made, and we were terrible on third down, and that's a quarterback's job on third down to make plays.
As you're standing there facing a very large, sizable defense, what was that pressure like that you were under constantly tonight?
Give them a lot of credit. They are a great football team, a great defense. They did bring a lot of pressure. I thought our offensive line did a good job of picking stuff up. It's like I said, it's my job to get rid of the ball so they don't get to me all the time.
So given what happened there tonight, how do you guys rebound from this for next week?
Well, it's something that we're going to put this behind us. This is game 2. It's not game 16. We've got a long season still ahead of us, and we've got division foe Cincinnati next week, and it's a short week, so we've got to get home and rest, and we'll come out fired up, and hopefully we'll play better than we did tonight.
You still have a fever right now?
I'm not feeling too well.
Take care.
All right, thanks, Michelle.
Steelers shut out for the first time since the Jets blanked them in 2003. You heard Roethlisberger mention, it ain't getting any tougher next week. They're facing what a lot of people think after 2 weeks is the best team in the NFL, the Cincinnati Bengals. How can they right this ship up, Michael?
Well, to go out and win, to make yourself start feeling good. But I can't stress enough, Cincinnati, again, will come in again, looking to measure themselves again. This is what being a champion is all about. You have to get up every game. There is no down game. I don't care who they are playing. If they were playing Mary Mother, Sister Joe, they better come ready to play because that team is giving them all they have.
Mary Mother, Sister, and Joe, by the way, also 2-0, haven't been scored on this year yet in the NFL. Speaking of teams that are 2-0, hey, the Jags have the Colts. The Bengals have the 2-0, the Steelers have the 2-0 Bengals. In the AFC, you see a serious power play in the league. The Chargers are 2-0, and even though the Steelers are 1-1, you saw that they can play with the best teams in the league. What does this say about the AFC?
Well, I just think the statement about it is there's some great defenses. San Diego's got one. Baltimore's always had one. But these teams are now starting to score points. Cincinnati is going to score 3 touchdowns or more this week.
That's the difference.
And so the difference is that these are not just a game like today is the old way of the AFC. To me, the new way of the AFC is dealing with a great defense and then an offense that's going to score 3 or 4 touchdowns. That's the pressure I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to feel all year long, starting not only this week but next week as well.
It'll be a completely different game. You look at what Cincinnati was able to do offensively before Carson Palmer went down in the playoffs. They score a lot of points against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they make the Steelers get into a game that they don't want to get into, where Ben Roethlisberger may have to put the ball up. And again, he looked rusty tonight. I know that they're hoping he rebounds and really goes back to his form of last year.
And Tom, I know you sat down with Carson, but it's very rarely do you hear Carson say anything. But he definitely said, I'm looking forward to playing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You talk about rivalry. This has now become a rivalry. This was heated tonight. It'll be heated again next week.
Oh, wait a second, guys. I've got a message coming into my earpiece here. Oh, it's Tom Brady who's saying, hey, if you're mentioning all the great 2-0 AFC teams, don't forget about the 3-time champion Patriots. Tom, sorry about that, bro.
Out of respect, we let the Patriots go because that's what they do, right? They'll hang around. They'll be 9-2, and then we'll go, oh, here they come.
That's right.
Hey, we talked about the height of the Jacksonville Jaguars receivers. Byron Leftwich is 6'5". Matt Jones is 6'6". Reggie Williams is 6'4". Ernest Wilford is 6'4". They are the tallest combination quarterback wide receiver tandem in the entire league. So short DBs and short defensive linemen trying to bat the ball down need not apply. There's still fans who are hanging out here in the stadium because Marcus Stroud and John Henderson said, stay as long as you want and celebrate in our party. We're kicking this thing back to the 860 in Bristol, guys.
All right, we'll send it back to Jacksonville shortly. The NFL, in last night's win, Terrell Owens had more penalty yards, 20, than receiving, 19. In all the yellow flags, Bill Parcells estimates it cost his Cowboys 148 yards and about 10 points. Just one reason he became ill. Another, an electrolyte imbalance. While winning, the superstitious 65-year-old refused to take off his lined rain suit on the humid night in Dallas. Coach will be fine, as will T.O. after having a plate screwed in to his broken right ring finger during an operation tonight. Out 2 to 4 weeks means missing the bye, and the Titans maybe returning just in time for a little trip to Philly.
Most of those injuries, when they put a little plate in there, which I think they might do, you know, that pretty much fixes it. And it's just a question of what you can do. I mean, once they put that in there, it's not going anywhere. You're not going to displace it again. So it's just a question of, can you get it functional?
NFL quick hits for you. Eagles wish it was only 2 to 4 weeks for defensive end Javon Curse. Curse out for the rest of the season after spraining several ligaments in his knee during overtime of yesterday's Sunday loss to the Giants. Curse had 2.5 sacks in the game. The Eagles would tell you that game should have never even gone to overtime when he was injured. Raiders will be without quarterback Aaron Brooks 2 to 4 weeks. Strained a pectoral muscle in yesterday's loss to the Ravens following a bye. Andrew Walter will start against Cleveland on October the 1st. Colts are awaiting MRI results from 3 key players. 3-time Pro Bowl defensive end Dwight Freeney, injured muscle in his leg. Colts hoping he'll be ready for next week's game against the Jaguars. Superstar kicker Adam Vinatieri did not kick the extra point or kick off after the team's final scoring drive yesterday. Vinatieri injured his groin during the win over the Texans. And wide receiver Brandon Stokely aggravated a left ankle injury that kept him out of most of training camp, all the preseason, and the first week of the regular season. His status remains uncertain on the ankle. And a scary injury for the Bengals' David Pollock. The second-year linebacker out of Georgia broke his neck making a tackle against the Browns. While Pollock's season is over, head coach Marvin Lewis said it wasn't career-threatening, at least not now.
In 3 years, Maurice Clarett has lost his college football.
Plays in the studios. We flash back to the top 10 plays made in the NFL yesterday at number 10. Reggie Bush doing the kickoff return dance. Man can stop on a dime. Now, it wasn't a great return in terms of yards, but certainly a lot of fun to see. 4 returns, 36 yards on the day. Bush and the Saints welcome ESPN's Monday Night Football to New Orleans next Monday night. Raiders and Ravens, Kelly Gregg returns at 59 yards. Watch Ray Lewis, though, take the ball from Gregg running up the sideline. Gregg is very tired. Ravens win 28-6. At number 8, Patriots-Jets. Watch Lavernius Coles streaking across the middle. Coles weaving his way to the end zone. Not particularly great tackling here by the Patriots. More coming up from this game later. That's a touchdown. Panthers-Vikings at number 7. Fake field goal. Ryan Longwell. The pass for the touchdown. Vikings win. Brad Johnson says, wonder if I could have made that throw. Redskins-Cowboys at number 6. Rock Cartwright.